So this is my final update for the Botox treatment for the arm and the hand. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see when I posted a video about when it began, about halfway through or so, and now it's all done, so I'm going to update on what happened. So just as review, right now I'm about 3 years post-stroke, but somewhere around 2.5 years or so into the stroke, when I was talking to my therapist, they suggested that I try Botox. Now the reason was, is like you, if you've had this, we fight that tone, or where our arm on the affected side just wants to come in all the time and our hand just wants to stay to grip. Well, anyway, the Botox is supposed to partially paralyze, not completely, but partially paralyze the muscles on the strong side, the tone side, so that we can work on the other side. So in other words, I was like this all the time, and the Botox in my arm was supposed to make these muscles relax so I could work on the pulling out, or the muscles opposing that. Anyway, I thought I'd describe what was happening and give my feelings about it. Now, why I made these videos, because I can remember wondering and almost being afraid. I sure didn't want shots, and I just didn't want to have some kind of paralysis on purpose. We face a lot of that when we have a stroke as it is. So I was kind of not sure what to expect. So I decided to make these videos so in case you're wondering what to expect or what it's like, you can use this as a reference. Now I will tell you this, I was told that it takes about 2 weeks from the time they first put the shots in, and they put in 2 shots into my bicep arm, and then they put 3 or 4 into my forearm. Now they say it takes 2 weeks before that sets in, and it does. Because I remember during that 2 weeks I thought, hey, this isn't bad, there's no real change at all. But then it begins to set in. And it lasts for about 10 weeks, and then it takes 2 weeks to wear off. Anyway, at first it wasn't bad, but during that 10 weeks, I'll tell you, it was pretty discouraging. It was pretty depressing, because anytime we've had a stroke, when we've lost the use of one side, that's hard enough as it is. And then as we recover and start to rehab, to lose it again, it's kind of a mental depressing thing. And so I can remember, I kind of wished I hadn't done it. About halfway through it, I was saying, I just wish I wouldn't have done this thing, because it did last the full 10 weeks. My arm felt heavy most of the time. My fingers felt stiff. Even though the paralysis was supposed to relieve it so it wasn't pulled in, it was hard pushing it out, and I remember working on that a lot. So my arm was heavy, my fingers were stiff. Now, if you've had a stroke of any kind, you'll probably know what I'm talking about when I use the word neglect. They tell us that on our affected side, one of the things we have to do is kind of overcome neglect. Because it's not working on its own, we tend to neglect it, and we tend to do everything with our strong side. We pick up things, we do everything like that, and we neglect our left side. Well, during this Botox treatment, that neglect was unavoidable. I just didn't even want to use my left side during that time. And it was hard to deal with. Anyway, it's hard to focus. It's hard to concentrate because, you know, during your recovery, you start getting some use back and you start doing things, and then all of a sudden that one side just kind of drops off again, and so the neglect is it's just unavoidable. You know, I remember asking myself if I should do this. And so you may be asking yourself if you should do Botox. Well, anyway, here's what I have to say about it. Do I regret it? Now, no. But during the time, yes. I didn't like it a bit. Do I think it helped? If I'm honest, probably. It probably did. But that still did not make it easy. It was still discouraging and kind of depressing to go through. So you really have to kind of decide where you're at if you want to be able to do that. You know, it's kind of like a lot of things. It's kind of like taking 3 steps back in order to take 1 step forward. Well, that's how it kind of was. And you know, if your stroke's anything like mine, we have good days and we have bad days. We make progress and it seems like we fall back. Well, this was one of those fallbacks. And it was I don't want to say severe, but it was a profound fallback. Now that it's over, I'm really glad I did it. Would I do it again? No. Anyway, now keep in mind, I'm just one person, and so it's just one viewpoint. If you're considering Botox for your arm, then talk to the pros, the doctors, the therapists, the nurses, everybody who's involved in it, the neurologists. I'm just one person who's had it done. So from one stroke warrior to another, if you're considering Botox, good luck.